Hello everybody and welcome to today's video of DIY investing. The markets have really been taking off the last couple weeks, and I think that there's further upside to come inside of these cryptocurrency markets. Some of the top market cap coins have really been leading the charge, which is why I wanted to make this video and give you guys an in-depth analysis on what I'm seeing with some of the top movers over the last couple weeks. If you find this content helpful at any time, please do myself and this channel a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel. I'm super excited for the future of these cryptocurrency markets, and it's going to be so much fun making money alongside you guys. Being able to be there and be a part of something is a really great opportunity, which is why I started my Discord server, and it's why I really felt like it was a good thing to boost this channel into the next cycle. One of the best things that helped me learn in the last market cycle with Bitcoin was the fact that I had a community to get behind and have other people share me their alternative perspectives, which really forced me to think about my own perspective and trading plan. Do myself a favor and click the invite link in the description below of this video, and there you'll be able to get access to my own personal Discord server. In my Discord, I'll post my own private analysis alongside further members that will come in and be able to really challenge your own belief systems inside of crypto. Do yourself a favor and get behind a community that you can trust. Click the invite in the description below, and I'll see you guys on the other side. With that being said, let's get right into the video for today, guys. Okay, so to start off this video, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin's chart. Now, last week we left off and we were about right here. We had our first impulse, and then we were kind of waiting to see how we were going to consolidate, whether we were going to break lower or whether we were going to go higher in the cycle. And I expected that we would go higher based off of this impulsive move. Now, one thing to take a note of is this is not going to be very important until we can cover a couple key resistance zones. So one of them being right here. We're currently working on the descending resistance with Bitcoin, and so we're gonna have to see if whether or not we're gonna break out of this. If we break out, then you're gonna have to watch out for this $4,000 area, about 4,000 to 4,100. If we can clear this major resistance indicated by this black line, and then we can clear about 4,000 to 4,100 and break out of this little higher low that we had here, then that's going to be bullish, and then I expect these upper targets to be met. However, this is what we're going to have to watch out for. A lot of the alts are actually leading the pack when it comes to Bitcoin, and that's a good sign overall, which tells us that there's lots of new money flooding into these cryptocurrencies. Even though Bitcoin hasn't broken out of its descending resistance, some of these altcoins have. Now, this can mean a couple of different things. It could mean that this is a fake out and we're about to be rejected and then fall lower, which happens sometimes. A lot of the alts will start leading up. They'll start showing signs of breaking out, and then Bitcoin will reject along with the other alternative cryptocurrencies, and then we'll see kind of a bull trap scenario. And so this is what happens. However, I'm not putting my bets towards that happening. I think that we will get a breakout of this descending resistance, and then we will start tagging up in these higher resistance levels as indicated by my black line targets here. Now, if we take a look at the total market cap for cryptocurrencies, currently sitting at about 133 billion with 33 billion in 24-hour volume. So we've had some nice volatility coming in here. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 51.8%. And so yeah, we've had a lot of really nice movers, anywhere from about 5% upwards to about 25%, it looks like. Some of the biggest movers are Ethereum, EOS, and Bitcoin Cash. Litecoin is still doing its thing, up 12.5% today. So this is very good. A lot of new money's coming into the markets overall. And so what I'm going to be watching for is how we can react to this descending resistance right here. We're very close to actually getting a break out of that, and so we're just going to have to kind of watch and monitor and see whether we can. If we get a break out of this, I'm going to be watching for about 4,000 to 4,100. If we can clear that major resistance, then you guys know my targets moving forward. You can actually jump in my Discord and you can go back and analyze this chart. I'll drop it in there after this video so you guys can see that. Now, for today's video, I wanted to go over a couple of the major altcoins, being Ethereum and Litecoin. Litecoin was recommended. If you guys ever have a recommendation of something you want me to go over, it doesn't even have to be a specific coin. It can be questions that you guys have. Just feel free to ask me in the Discord. You can drop them in the comments of my YouTube channel in the comment section below. Whatever is fine, I will get back to those and I will read those. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. But today, we're going to be looking at Ethereum and just mainly the biggest moving alts over that span. Generally, what you tend to see with markets is Ethereum and Litecoin lead the pack often when it comes to these altcoins, because of the fact they've been around so long. They're some of the more put together coins as far as how their track record. Everybody knows of Litecoin, it's been around for so long. Everybody knows of Ethereum because it's always been the second biggest cryptocurrency, besides the time where Ripple passes it occasionally, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so with looking at Ethereum, we're getting a nice impulsive move out of where we bottomed at about $105 per ETH. And we're going to be seeing whether we can clear these major resistances. Now, what I'm watching for as far as the actual resistance, let's pull up rectangle box. So my resistance zone is going to be from about 210 to about 250. Right around there, I expect us to come up and actually hit this. We can go a little higher, but for me personally, this is where I'm going to be watching my major resistances and where I do expect us to sell off a little bit from this current bounce that we're seeing inside of Ethereum. Now, originally, I had us going down to about $50 per ETH, and I'm not sure that this is going to continue to happen. We're just going to have to see how impulsive this move is, because of the fact if we go and look at the Bitcoin pair, and I'll actually resort back to this chart in a second, it looks a lot more bullish than it does bearish in these times. So with that being said, a count that I'm watching out for, now this was originally my count. We had a 1, we had a 3, now we're retracing into the 4, we'll still go a little higher, and then we'll have one final 5 wave down to about $50. Now the way that this is looking, it looks like we're going to bounce up to about here, somewhere market structure anywhere from about 250 to 210 bill or $200, excuse me, $250 to $210, somewhere in that is where I'd expect a retrace from here. Now, if we can hold support after the initial retrace from about 250 to 210, like I said, then we're gonna have to. That's where we're gonna decide whether we're gonna go higher and whether this is the bottom of the ABC retrace. Because if we come in here and analyze what I'm talking about, this is the A. This is the B, and now we're working on the C. Now with the C, we can be bottomed here, and what we saw when we peaked just below $100, or we could have a bounce up to here, like I'm saying, and then we fall once again to about the $50 range. Either way, we're just gonna have to watch and see and monitor what's gonna happen. So this is one of my accounts. This is my original count that I've been following. Based off of the Bitcoin pair, it's looking less likely that this is the count that's gonna play out, just because the fact is looking a lot more bullish. But what I'm expecting is us to continue bouncing in this retrace right here. I think we'll go up and tag about 210 to 250, and then from here we're going to have to watch and see whether we get a retrace and fall to lower lows, or whether we're actually going to start the first impulses before we go into the next cycle. That's to be decided solely on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin's going to do, because if we go back and look at the Bitcoin chart, even with this cycle, if Bitcoin pops up really high and a lot of this new money starts flooding into Ethereum and a lot of these alts, something to keep note of is just because Bitcoin bounces really high and we could see upwards of the 5,000 to even mid 5,000 areas tagged, it doesn't change the fact that we're still in a bear market, and we're going to have to see a significant breakout of this trend to really cement that belief system of we're actually bullish, because I've seen it too many times. We have these fake outs. One happened right here. It just doesn't work. You got to keep in note that we are always going to be in a bear market until the trend has proven us that it has changed. And so this is what I'm watching out for. Even if we do get a strong impulsive move and bounce inside of Bitcoin, it does not necessarily mean that the bear market is over, and we could see a rejection and then have one more final low that would take us to about $2,500 to $1,800. But this is what we're just going to have to see. That's so far into the future that right now that's not what's important, and we're just going to have to kind of watch to see how high Bitcoin bounces, and then from there, if we can maintain support and actually see higher highs to come. So this was what I'm watching for Ethereum. Now with Ethereum, I'm actually going to go and look at the Bitcoin chart just to kind of show you guys what I'm seeing with that. Now I updated a video last week talking about the comparison between the last market cycle with Ethereum and the current one, and based off of this market cycle, it looks as if we're right here at the very bottom, and what we should be seeing is this playing out, this little one wave. Now with that being said, no market cycles ever behave the same, and so we could start impulsing very quickly, or we could even see a small retrace and kind of chill sideways here for a little bit longer, but we're just going to have to watch and kind of maintain. But either way, Ethereum set up perfectly. I made my video back in here talking about how this was a good buy opportunity, and in fact, from that video, it looks as if we are up about, we're just going to call it right there. We're up about 18% from that video, 18 to 20%. So we had a nice little swing in that time. What I'm expecting, if we can break out of this resistance right here at about 0.083, then obviously the next major resistance is going to be here. And so that's what I would expect if we can actually break out of here. Something to keep a note is we could get a little bit of a fake out, and then we stab back down at support one last time, which does happen oftentimes in these consolidating markets towards the bottom. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for Ethereum. If, like I said, it looks like we're going to bounce higher, and so with the dollar chart, I do expect that to take us to about $210 to $250 per Ethereum. And then for the Bitcoin pair, I do expect this resistance right here at about 0.055 to be met. Now last on the list, guys, is going to be Litecoin. Now Litecoin has been moving. It was actually the first real mover when Bitcoin started impulsing and breaking out of its little bottom that it had. And the cool thing about Litecoin is if we come right here, we're actually breaking out of the major descending resistance that has held us throughout this whole entire year of bear market. And so that's very, very bullish overall. One of them being is we've just finished the 1, 3, and 5 impulse up, which completes the first wave in this Elliott cycle. And so we just finished the retrace into the 2 before we start the 3 wave. Now this would actually make a lot of sense coming up on the actual Litecoin halving when the block reward size for the miners gets cut in half. Now this can be a very, very impulsive time for Litecoin, and it's something that we're just going to have to watch and see how we play out. This is my first Elliott wave count that I'm going to be watching in this time, just because of the fact you don't want to bet against a halving coin. You don't want to bet against a halving coin just because of the fact the supply is getting scarcer. And with these cryptocurrencies, that is such a huge driver in value, is the fact that they are scarce in some degree. And so with something with Litecoin, I think there's like 65 million circulating supply. This is going to be a very good long-term hold, in my opinion. And so this is one that I'm watching, especially because of the fact we just broke out of this major descending resistance. With that being said, things are looking up as far as Litecoin goes. So if you hold some, make sure you're holding on to that and keeping a long-term bag tucked away tight, because this market could and will get very impulsive in the future. Keep that in mind whenever you're going towards creating a trading plan with this coin. I might as well show you the Bitcoin pair one last time before we wrap up this video, because a lot of people have been talking and asking about this, because a lot of people trade Bitcoin pairs. Now this was a perfect setup that played out, and if you missed out on this one, you just go back and look at this, because it was such a long play in a very obvious rounded bottom. We had a nice inverse head and shoulder here, left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder before we broke out. Now we've been impulsing. Like I said, please do not buy this right now, because of the simple fact we've already been going up. That's the worst time you could buy, and we're heading straight for major resistance. I do expect us to go up and tag this resistance here at about 0.014 Litecoin to Bitcoin pair. And so this is what I'm watching out for with Litecoin. But overall, this is a great setup. We had this nice rounded bottom accumulation with the breakout, and now we're seeing new highs to come with major resistance heading in its way. So this is what I mean. Even though everybody's making money, all of the top traders that you see on Twitter, they're going to be posting about their setups that are in profit. Don't allow that to overtake your bias, and don't start FOMOing in, because that's what they want you to do. They want to be selling into everybody else's greed. So the best thing to do for yourself is just wait until you catch the retrace, because there will be a retrace, and you never know. Maybe you FOMO clear up here, and then it retraces all the way back down to here, and you kick yourself and you say, why did I do that? Because I've done that plenty of times. One of the best things that you can do in this time is just hold the course. Remember that if you don't have a trading plan in place, there's no reason to force the issue. So this is what I'm watching out for Litecoin. We have major resistances coming up for Ethereum, major resistances coming up for Litecoin, and then with Bitcoin, we're still waiting to see if we're going to actually break out of this descending resistance. But based off of the altcoins, it looks as if they're kind of leading the way, which often does spell breakout. However, at the same time, we're just going to have to see. So with that being said, this is what the video I had for today for you guys was. I hope you enjoyed this and found this useful. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever, or feel free to ask me inside of my Discord server. Right now, we've got about, looks like 26 members in here with some good conversation constantly flowing. So if you want to jump in a community and get behind a community that really focuses on personal growth and development, feel free to jump in my Discord. There's an invite link in the description below. And from there, you guys can see what we're doing inside of that. That's where I post all my own analysis and update what I talk about in my videos moving forward. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I will get back to you in the near future and update you on what's to come. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.